As SAS flight attendants, you've long been used to customers in all their various shapes and sizes. But on some flights soon, even you may be mildly surprised. If you should see a rather ordinary-looking case being given a seat all to itself, that's because it isn't ordinary at all. It's a very special case, and what it's packed with is sophisticated scientific equipment, and it's here to monitor and analyze the quality of the air in the cabin and measure constituents to an accuracy of down to 1 part in a million. SAS is cooperating with the US-based Center for Indoor Air Research in the running of a comprehensive test program with TNO, one of Europe's independent research laboratories, with equipment certified for in-flight use. The equipment is called a portable air sampling system, and there'll be 4 on board at a time, 1 each in Euro class and tourist class, smoking and non-smoking sections. Each one will have its own technician to look after it, so it'll need no attention from you at all. It's already known, of course, that SAS DC-9s carry highly effective ventilation systems, and so does the MD-80, the new DC-9 variant, which is currently entering our fleet. In the DC-9, some of the fresh air drawn in through the engine intakes is tapped off. It travels through a complex air conditioning pack into a mixing chamber, then forward in 2 streams along both sides of the passenger cabin. A separate supply goes to the flight deck. Then the air passes back under the floor and is discharged through a control valve. In the MD-80 version, by design, 30% of the air is recirculated through a filter. The result of all this at 30,000 feet, say, is more than 2,600 cubic feet of new air entering the cabin every single minute. In both aircraft, in fact, all the air is completely replaced around every 2 3/4 minutes of flight. Despite this, a few passengers express discomfort on long flights. Some complain of dry eyes. Others believe they can smell traces of cigarette smoke, and may think that that's the cause of their discomfort. But what are the facts? These tests are going to add to the increasing knowledge of in-flight air quality. But if passengers know that tests are being run, it might alter their behavior in subtle ways which could affect the results, so please don't announce them. People aren't likely to notice the cases, especially as they will not be opened on board. If asked, give a brief explanation. For instance, we are running a scientific study on the quality of the cabin air. Throughout the journey, a 5th technician will be recording flight details, smoking frequency, and so on. After landing, they'll quickly collect cigarette ends, noting which seat ashtrays they came from. Then the monitoring units will go straight to a base station nearby. There, the data they've stored electronically will be fed into a small computer. Some of the samples will be analyzed here at the stations set up in Stockholm, Oslo, and Copenhagen, while others will be taken out of the cases to be sent along with all the data collected at the base stations to the TNO laboratory at Delft in the Netherlands. Here, the precise amount of materials collected by the tubes will be measured by gas chromatography, recorded and displayed. The filters will be weighed on microbalances. Both these tests will show the researchers how much of what they call respirable suspended particulates were in the cabin atmosphere. That is, material light enough to float in the air and small enough to breathe. And finally, all the data from the base station and the TNO laboratory will be fed into the mainframe computer. These very special cases will travel on 48 flights in all between Scandinavia and other European destinations from the 14th to the 29th of September. The research results will appear in flight deck and cabin attendants' bulletins, and there will be special presentations by independent scientists to all interested staff. The study will also be submitted for publication in a learned scientific journal. So if you should see one of these, remember that it's a very special case, aiming for the highest possible standards of air purity in every SAS aircraft cabin.